As a reasonably happy pro photographer, you'd imagine that I'd be telling everybody, this is the life, this is what you should be doing. But I don't advise becoming a professional photographer to most people, and there's a really good reason for this. Now, the obvious one is I don't want you stealing my work, but that is not the reason for it, because there is enough work to go around and everyone does their own little thing in this industry. It's not like we're all chasing the one job. But the problem with professional photography is it's not like a normal career. There is not that ordinary career progression. It takes a certain mindset to be able to do it, and it's not necessarily a healthy mindset. It's not necessarily that the people who succeed in photography are healthy individuals in the grand scheme of things. Now, the reason for that is, let's take, say we go and work in the NHS, the National Health Service here, and you get a job in whatever role you're doing, admin assistant, secretary, nurse, doctor, whatever it may be. You have this lovely career path laid out ahead of you. You start at the bottom and you gradually work your way up in a methodical way. You can see the goals, they exist, and you move towards them. Photography is not like that. It's not like that. We don't start here and work our way up. And for sure, some people are like, well, you start off assisting and then you do this. You know, that world doesn't exist anymore. That's kind of gone. It's great. You can go and assist for a bit and you'll learn really quickly and you'll get treated like... But it's not like that. And the way that photography works is there's the bottom job. There's a very few people in the middle doing middle jobs, and there's the top jobs. And there is no progression between them. Take my niche, food photography. A cafe restaurant photographer, the local brand photographer shooting for Coca-Cola, the only thing that ties these all together is that you use a camera. They're not the same job. They're very different careers. And because of this, people think, well, we start here, we move to the local brand, and we get bigger jobs, bigger, and we'll sort of work our way up this like lovely career path. That career path doesn't exist. I've seen photographers stay at the bottom being brilliant for their entire career. I've seen photographers do photography for 2 years and land at the top. And people hate these people because they're like, well, it's not fair. I did all this work. I put the hard work and I put the sweat into it. And it's like, yeah, great, but you did the wrong thing. If you want to be shooting at the top, shoot at the top. If you want to be shooting at the middle, shoot at the middle. If you want to shoot cafes and restaurants, shoot cafes and restaurants. And whatever that may be in your niche or your genre of photography, it'll be the same. And of course, it's much easier to have a go at the bottom first to get a taste for it and then work your way up. But it's not a career progression, it's a career change. I did restaurant photography and I changed my career to shoot for local businesses, like national businesses. And then when I've done that, it's not like I progressed gradually up. There's no one in between your local mum and pop cola brand and Coca-Cola. They are worlds apart. They are a different thing altogether. There is nothing in common with these two places. If you want to shoot for Coca-Cola, the advertising, the portfolio, the mentality, the personality required for that is completely different to shooting for Jim's Coke. And this is where photographers fall down. And this is why I don't advise it to people, because if, like most of us, most normal functioning adults, we like to progress. We like to do these things. But in photography, you have to kind of go all in. You have to really go all in, and you have to have that self-belief that you can do it. And it's one of the reasons I come across arrogant at times, is because if I don't be arrogant, or if I don't believe I can do it, I won't be able to. If you don't have that self-belief that I can do this is going to work, I am good enough to do this, shooting for Coca-Cola won't happen. If you're like, well, you know, I've been working along at it for a long time with cafes and I shot for Jim's Cola and, you know, I think it might be time for me to progress. They don't want that. They want, yeah, I can do that. This is exactly what I do. I'm really good at it. They're not risking their marketing budget on, well, I've put in the sweat equity. I think I deserve it. They're putting in that risk onto someone who goes, yeah, I know it, I can do it, I understand it. This is my world. And this is why I don't recommend it, because a lot of people don't work like that. They don't think like that. And what happens is they end up really unhappy putting years and years of work in and not actually getting out of whatever bracket they've put themselves into, because there isn't a career progression. We're individual businesses. There's no one with a ladder there. If you go and shoot in-house with somebody, there'll be a career progression. But most of us doing this don't want that. And it's so difficult to achieve in any of these. Being a successful restaurant photographer is really hard because there's loads of restaurant photographers and they all have small budgets to shoot with. Being a successful middle of the road photographer is really hard because there's not many businesses and they don't have that much money. Being a successful top-end commercial photographer is really hard because there's not many clients, there's huge competition, but thankfully they pay a lot. But it's like, it's all hard. None of them are easier than the other. So whatever it is you want to do in photography, just go straight there. Don't feel that you owe anybody anything. Don't feel that you owe them the time in the trenches. You don't. You don't owe anyone anything. Create great work and move yourself forward to the area you want to be in. That is what it should be like. And I made the mistake, and I'm telling you this because I did it. I did the beginning. I went, this isn't working. Oh, if we go to the middle bit. Did the middle bit. I went, well, how do I get there? And then I realised you don't do the middle bit. You just do this bit here. And no one talks about this in photography. It's like the dirty secret, and maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe I'm going to be out of work very soon if everyone jumps into what I'm doing. But there we go. Here to help. Hope you enjoy it. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.